King Yuan looked up and said, "Indeed, just as I imagined. It's still a bit different." He stroked Bai Jai's chin. After a moment of contemplation, "I saw mine. Shouldn't you also let me see yours?" King Yuan said softly, "Don't even think about it." In the deep winter, Zhu Nuo's delicate face is filled with joy. Each word is pronounced distinctly. Shameful and agitated roar. King Yuan stood up with some dissatisfaction. Teach a good lesson. This unreasonable girl. In the deep winter, Yuki saw this. Quick-witted and nimble-handed. It's just a slide tackle. Hello. King Yuan frowned slightly. Quickly dodged. Easily resolved the attack. A master indeed. Unexpectedly dodged it. In the deep winter, Zhu Nu furrowed her brows tightly. "Just as I was about to seek help from Zaya Rai Mei Zhu, before you even open your mouth," being pressed down on the bed by the weight of emotions. Tightly covering her fragrant lips, she couldn't make a sound. Little sample. King Yuan smiled brightly as she looked down at the floating object below. Sneered. "Just so. Just based on you. Not enough to see yet." He said. Suddenly, the delicate fragrant snake gently licked the sweet ear hammer. King Yuan felt lost after the meeting. Looking at the drunken culprit, Zaya Rai Mei Zhu, only her beautiful and stunning appearance was seen. Crimson-tinted, drowsily awaiting sleep. Droplets of saliva continuously flowed from the corner of the mouth. "What about me? You old fool." King Yuan couldn't help but curse inwardly. Coming to interfere again. "It's unfair for you two to answer one." Giant King Yuan did not respond. On a summer day, Mei Zhu suddenly lunged forward. King Yuan, through the thin fabric of clothing, that slippery yet warm and beautiful touch. Suddenly she felt her legs weaken, her long, shiny black hair. A whisk gently scattered beside the cheek, emitting an alluring melancholy fragrance. What a playful creature! King Yuan turned around and embraced her. "I want to discipline this disobedient pet." In the deep winter, Zhu Nuo seized an opportunity, suddenly picked up, pressing the emotional entanglement down on oneself. "Now it's my turn," she said arrogantly. The tone is undeniably domineering. It feels like a turn-based game. King Yuan let out a sigh, looking at the floating on my chest, that beautiful S-curve of the demon's hips. In the deep winter, Zhu Nuo gazed with her watery, heart-like eyes, staring at oneself in a daze. A noticeable blush showed on her cheeks. The pure white fangs lightly bit her lower lip. The delicate body moved slowly, pressing against the waist of the emotional abyss. She suddenly sensed something was off. This girl has big ambitions. A gentleman acts rather than speaks. King Yuan Beishu Dao, looking at those slightly parted fragrant lips, a sudden feeling of unease. Shenon Zhu sneered coldly. As she raised her jade-like hand, the fragrant lips slightly parted. "I am not a gentleman either. I will use both." Finished. King Yuan watched as his second daughter was constantly consumed. "I just feel hopeless. Today we are really going to run out of supplies. I don't understand. Why is everyone talking about it? The battlefield of Hancheng is stained with blood, destined to be this ancient battlefield of Tokyo. For a man, it's more likely to be bad than good, no matter what is said. 10 for a dozen, 2 extra. The advantage is mine." Just as the emotions were about to regroup, regaining control, the door was pushed open once again. A tall, slender figure appeared. Lion Bu Waiyi, walking slowly forward. "What are you all doing?" With Gong Ei's hand on her slim waist. Very confused. Watching the three entangled in a struggle, King Yuan seemed to see hope. Hastily waved. "Eile, Save me. In the depths of winter, Zu's delicate brows furrow slightly with jealousy. She has no energy left to deal with this little girl right now. But as the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy, it's just my teammate. Ellie, give me a helping hand. Blow this bastard to bits. All right. With a smile, she said to Gong Ailey. That playful smile. Instantly, it made King Yuan feel a deep sense of despair and pressure. Thought, you agree so readily with such charm. Do you have any shame? This is a group fight. This is a righteous brawl. Just give up on trying to make me give up. Gong Ailey spoke with a faint smile. Take off your shoes. Lift the jade foot. The soft and delicate fragrant feet stepped on the thigh. 5 green onions like white jade fingers, tightly closed and bent, gently rubbing against the strong thigh. King Yuan frowned slightly, trembling all over. As the sparkling fingertips glided across, King Yuan shivered and let out a few soft cries. Just a gentle touch, making her increasingly impatient. Raise your gaze, looking at Princess Ai Lai, only to see her smiling brightly. I really enjoy this kind of play. King Yuan couldn't help but stick out her tongue, angrily reached out to grasp that fragrant foot, gently poked the soft sole, just a gentle touch. She was about to lose control. Jiok fell gently into King Yuan's arms. Gently hold her neck and breathe softly. You bastard, with Lady Ailey's charming voice, furiously glaring at King Yuan. Don't forget, who started the fire first? King Yuan let out a cold snort. A pair of large hands encircled the slender waist that could hardly be grasped. Hold that fragrant, soft body tightly in my arms. With Princess Ailey's face blushing brightly, no more words will be spoken. Just holding her neck. Bring your fragrant lips closer. King Yuan pressed her thin lips together, trying to resist. But the big hand started to move restlessly. His fingertips grazed her waist. Jade legs. After all this happened. Her voice trembled, both delicate and charming. Shaking, he buried himself in her embrace. Keep your legs straight, held tightly by the beauty, breathing in that subtle, serene fragrance. King Yuan couldn't help but let out a few low gasps. Damn, it's so enviable. Watching from the side was Shendong Zunai. I can't help but feel this way in my heart. The corner of her mouth slid down, with the tip of the tongue exposed, appeared charming and enchanting. Looking at this scene, I couldn't help but fantasize in my mind, looking down at the young man's monkey festival. Ear wide, in the summer, Meixiu suddenly crouched down, holding her slightly trembling body. You lion Shenzhao, feeling hot all over. Clearly, strange desires also arose in the heart. King Yuan glanced at the two of them. He immediately steadied Yugong Ailey's lips fiercely. I can't help but want to swallow her whole. 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. Defeating each one individually is the right approach. First, let's deal with this little demon. The other 2 cannot become a climate. If you have the ability, take care of me by yourself. She said mockingly. Yugong Ailey easily gets hooked. With a voice as graceful as a swan, he spoke. It's not enough to just have hands. King Yuan chuckled softly. In an instant, Yugong Ailey is here. Interpret her fingerprints and kiss marks. She hesitated, feeling as if floating in the heavens. The body seemed to no longer be under my control. I feel like a puppet. At this moment, easily grasped by the depths of love. It won't be long before they are defeated. For a moment, I became somewhat clear-headed. Yugong Ailey obediently left her lips, looking at the abyss tainted by desire. The frown slightly eased. Bend down. Want to take it a step further. At this moment, giant King Yuan's lips and tongue found some respite. In the deep winter, the snow eagerly rushed forward to fill in. In the summer, Meixu noticed, imitating others as well, approaching gracefully step by step. She lifted her hips, kissing down from King Yuan's chin. The movements may be unfamiliar, but the stimulation of skin contact makes one's hair stand on end. King Yuan let out a soft hum involuntarily, reaching out a hand to stop, but the fingertip was bitten by the small mouth stained with smoky red. In the summer, Meixu ignored and bit her fingertip. King Yuan felt increasingly restless. Extend the other hand. Want to drive it away. But I couldn't help but press lightly. I feel a force at the back of my head, gently pushing her. Continue onward, it's cold. Summer beauty, snow obscures the eyes. Cold spring. Became even more absorbed. In the depths of winter, Zhu Nai's eyes were moist, looking up with eyes closed. Seductive brows of deep green. It seems you want more. Watching the three girls have already fallen into madness. King Yuan rolled her eyes. Sudden despair. No way, no way. These three bastards. It's our first collaboration. Why are you so skilled? I'm going to die. King Yuan's eyelids were half closed. The body sank. We can only let them manipulate us. The annoying cherry blossom girl. If you have the ability, then clean me out completely. Yan Giant King gave up resisting. Yubong Ali let out a light laugh. Watching the second girl fighting for food, Dai Mei suggested with a hint of jealousy. This can't go on like this. Let's distribute first, then continue. In the depths of winter, the snow has already settled. Ignoring her words, just about to snatch food from the tiger's mouth, Yugong Ailalu expressed some dissatisfaction. There's no time to say anything more. The man in front of me. At this moment, it is a piece of delicious meat devoured by three vicious wolves. How much can you eat? That's all down to skill. HMPH. Today I bought quite a few good things. You can nourish your beloved. Hearing the heartfelt cries of Yu Gong being killed, King Yuan widened her eyes, but they dared not speak, fearing the arrival of the fourth evil wolf. What strange noise is coming from the house? Puffing sound. Only the sound of Yu Gong's footsteps slowly approached. King Yuan made a whimpering sound. The three women before me have already gone mad. You can't even notice the signals from King Yuan. If this scene witnessed the killing by Yu Gong, she couldn't imagine what would happen. This is the summer eyebrow blood that has always been fought over by the other two women. Awakened first, she wiped the water stains from the corner of her mouth. Furrowing her beautiful brows, she looked out the door, clearly noticed something. Realizing something is wrong, she quickly reached out to poke Shinbo Kuyuki. Interrupted like this, Shandong Zunai was in a good mood. I couldn't help but glare at her, not enjoying properly. Why are you poking me? In the summer, Meizu leaned closer and whispered softly in her ear. Wen Yan awaited Mei Wai in the deep winter snow, slightly jealous. Listen carefully. Someone is indeed approaching. After all, this is someone else's territory, caught in an affair. That also comes with a good scolding. In desperation, she sighed. It can only be abandoned. Watching Yu Gong Ai lie helplessly, a person monopolizes the depths of affection. Yu Gong Ai lies deeply trapped and unable to escape. I didn't notice at all. The two of them had long hidden themselves far away. Even the reminder from King Yuan, turn a blind eye, as the door gently creaked open. A charming silhouette gracefully walked over. King Yuan saw the visitor, let out a sigh. No face to show. Yugong Ali then felt a surge of extreme killing intent and chill. sweeping through the body. She trembled and came to a stop. The beautiful eyes blinked slightly. It seems I have already understood something. But there was no courage to look back. Ellie, is it comfortable? Yu Gongsha stood calmly behind her, gently leaning down to secretly savor the fragrant pan fry. He leaned close to her earlobe and asked. Yubong Ailey trembled all over, swallowed hard, in a state of panic. Sister, I... Yu Gongsha let out a light laugh. There is no accusation. Just cast your gaze towards the deep winter snow and the beautiful summer snow. Seeking the way. Two people. Aren't you leaving yet? The conversation ended. Her slender hand unknowingly reached into the bag. A flash of cold light suddenly appeared. My blade has long been thirsty and eager. King Yuan took a sharp breath. The second daughter exchanged glances. In the deep winter, Zunai sighed helplessly. We have no choice but to retreat for now. Holding the beautiful Zumei's delicate hand, he said calmly, King Yuan's belongings were left in the store. I brought it to her. That's all. Speak. The two girls hurriedly escaped from the room. Yu Gong Shajai immediately cast a lush gaze, tossed towards Gong Ailey. What do you want to say? Looking at the furious Yu Gong Shaji. Yu Gong Ailey tucked her head in, curled up in the corner. Lowering her head, she acted cute. Sister, I was wrong. I'll come again next time. You're not eating me, I'm not refusing. But you're cheating like this. I don't like it. Yu Gongsha released the kitchen knife from the bag. Holding the pink circle, don't get too close. I won't dare to do it again next time. Yu Gong Ailey said tearfully, looking at my pitiful younger sister. Yu Bong's tightly clenched fist relaxed. However, despite this, the anger still hasn't dissipated. A cold voice said, I punish you to reflect alone at home tonight. Not allowed to go out. Seeing that he was not harmed by the knife, Yugong Ailey let out a sigh of relief. Oh, got it. She didn't seem to take the punishment to heart. Yugong sighed quietly. The human heart is hard to gauge. Some people are just good to her, not only ungrateful. Instead, they complain it's too little. I won't be satisfied until I've drained your blood. She wasn't unwilling to share, but cheating like this, yet it was something she did not wish to see. She was not Qin Yuan's official lover either. Otherwise, I must make this little rascal suffer a bit. Yu Gongsha looked towards King Yuan, gently asked, Qin Jun, you weren't harmed, were you? Well, I suppose it wasn't so bad. Qin Yuan waved his hand. Slightly awkward. Fortunately, Gongsha arrived just in time. Otherwise, he will really be devoured clean by these three wicked women. Seeing Qin Yuan's disheveled appearance, Yu Gongsha said lightly, Those two really did go after you, didn't they? Those two fox spirits both have the scent of the Qin army. The Qin army also carries their scent. Unexpectedly, they took the chance to launch a sneak attack while I was unguarded. Shameless. It makes it seem like the Qin army is just a tourist attraction. Seeing Yu Gong's heart filled with anger, Qin Yuan quickly said, Actually, I didn't do much. They came over to give me a necklace. Giant Qin Yuan did not hold a grudge. Yu Gongsha had no more words to say, just lightly said, It's all good. If they come again next time, you must call me, okay? I can't trust those two awful women. Cheating is one thing. Also corrupted AI Ling. Qin Yuan nodded. Then he took out his phone and checked the time. Get up and speak. It's getting late. I'm going to work. Yu Gongsha did not stop. Step aside and make room. Calmly said, All right then, but be careful. They couldn't accomplish it during the day. I'm afraid they might come after you tonight. The conversation ended. He took out a bottle of pepper spray again, handed to Kin Yuan. This is a self-defense spray. Always carry it with you. The best way. Then I will take matters into my own hands. Follow to the store to monitor. If you dare to touch again, I will definitely chop them up. Kin Yuan couldn't help but feel embarrassed. Took the pepper spray. Immediately said, "Then I'm off." "Sure, I'll take you there." Yu Gongshai chuckled lightly. "Then I won't be polite." Qin Yuan nodded slightly, leaving the room with Yu Gongsha. Before leaving, couldn't help but glance back at Yu Gong Ai Lai. I hope this girl can learn a lesson. Know when to stop. Worked all night. Qin Yuan dragged his weary body back home. As soon as I entered the room, lying limp on the bed, looking at the familiar ceiling, murmured to oneself, "Zun, I wasn't in the shop all night. Is it because the afternoon is shy?" Qin Yuan touched the sheets. The scent of the three women. It seems to still exist. After all, someone who is usually so serious and aloof, showing that kind of appearance. I'm afraid it's currently shameful. Cuddled up in the blanket, blushing, thinking of deep winter snow milk, in a state of utter shame. She couldn't help but laugh. "Why don't we call and ask now? Isn't that a bit too heart-wrenching?" Just as Qin Yuan was pondering with his phone in hand, a strange giggling sound suddenly came from under the bed. Qin Yuan trembled all over, quickly stood up. What sound? She took a deep breath, summoning courage, bending down to look under the bed. A petite black shadow was riding there. "Wait a moment. You are Lily. What do you want to do?" At a glance, he saw through the girl's identity. Qin Yuan quickly stepped back. Some were startled. Yu Gong Eli realizes she has been exposed. No longer hiding. Stepped out with a smile. He said with a mischievous smile, "Don't resist anymore. It's all your fault for tempting me this afternoon. Tonight I must eat something good." Qin Yuan let out a cold hum. Bai Shu mocked, "Forget it, you little girl." "What does it mean?" Yubong asked Ali in confusion. "Look at the sand, then look at you, still so small. Come back when you've grown up a bit." Qin Yuan glanced at the smooth curve. He said bluntly, being stared at so directly, Ailey naturally understood what she meant. Suddenly her face turned bright red, shouted excitedly, "What are you talking about? I am clearly already an adult." It was clear that the other person still had a mocking expression on their face. She curled up, embracing her smiling, delicate figure. "My ears are all red." Shouted anxiously, "Do you look down on me for small things? You have personal charisma. That's called fear of the strong and suspicion of the weak." Qin Yuan silently complained. Immediately said, "Don't talk nonsense. I will accuse you of defamation," although she indeed prefers Madam's perfectly graceful figure, but she indeed does not have a unique penchant for popularity. Though Cao Cao is a villain, but there are risks involved. Gong Eli meets Qin Yuan, showing no signs of regret. Jaiyok trembled slightly, stepped forward and asked unhappily, "What's good about that old aunt? Do you really like big shoes this much?" Her appearance, Yu Yan Gon Shai, almost indistinguishable. Only the figure is quite lacking. There can be an advantage in age. On looks, there are looks. On body shape and attractiveness. Skin as delicate as a blown silk. It is the unique advantage of an 18-year-old girl, with Gong Shajai, even though the skin is well cared for, but it is far from being comparable to Lady Alice. But despite that, Qin Yuan still maintained his original attitude. Mature and composed. "What's wrong? Where have you matured and become more stable?" You just entangle her body," Gong Ailey exclaimed in frustration. "To discuss character. Compared to Gong Sheshai, she is much more petty. With Gong Ailey I couldn't help but stick out my tongue, sitting on the bedside with a flushed face, unbutton a few buttons on the chest, exposing large areas of fair skin. Do you think I'm making a fuss over small things? Then can you help me out?" She stated it as a matter of course. On the breathtaking face is unwavering. She raised her eyebrows. A pair of "It feels like the air has lifted," dropped on the ground. Immediately he greeted with a shout, staring at Qin Yuan, arms spread wide. It seems to be waiting for something. Qin Yuan understood her meaning as well, but still pretended to ask, "How does this help?" Even Gong Ailey was growing impatient, quickly reached out and grabbed Qin Yuan's hand. "Pull it into your arms." It was just a chaotic meal. After enjoying it once, she gazed at Qin Yuan with enchanting eyes. She softly whispered with deep affection, "Why don't you help me relax?" Ha Luo, the shirt on their body, following the white, jade-like shoulders, fell onto the bed. The moment it fell, the entire room fell into silence. It felt as if even the air had solidified. Only faint breaths can be heard. Qin Yuan fell silent for a moment. "I thought I heard it wrong." You can see the joke in front of you, the blushing face. She pressed her lips together, realizing it wasn't just her imagination. Gong Ailey's ears turned red. Maybe it's the high. She easily spoke her heart. But since it has already been said, there is no chance for regret. She moved closer. The tall, graceful figure fell into Qin Yuan's embrace, with a hint of charm in her tone. Help me." Coquettish words. This left Qin Yuan feeling conflicted. Ming didn't want to respond, but the body still honestly moved. A large hand pressed against that delicate, smooth skin, white as jade, like snow and frost, draped in the thin silver veil formed by the bright moonlight. The pure temperament has become sacred, like a true fairy descending to the mortal realm. The more noble, the more sacred. The restlessness within Qin Yuan grew stronger. "We can't go on like this anymore. Something really bad is going to happen. Shajai is right next door. If discovered, I will definitely be killed. Calm down, calm down. We must make this little girl. You need to give up this strange idea. You really dare to say that. There's nowhere to rub at all." She swallowed, glanced at the gentle plains. "Trying to provoke you, Gong Ailey. Let her leave on her own. You can hear this." Yu Gong Ailey smiled in understanding, gently rubbed Qin Yuan's chest with fingertips, drawing circles, a charming and captivating voice, like the sound of heavenly music. "How did you know?" This. Qin Yuan wanted to escape. Can't help but feel a blush rising. "How is it?" "Good text. I specially wrote this early just for you." Yugong gently caresses Ailey's hair, stirring among the 3,000 strands of hair. The fragrance in the air grew stronger. "Let it go. One day at the airport." A lifetime is like an airport. Qin Yuan spoke decisively. Words are like a sharp blade piercing the chest. Yugong Ailey has clearly suffered a heavy blow. Dai Zaijian's expression darkened, but soon it recovered. She gave a faint smile. With both hands wrapped around Qin Yuan's neck, she said, "Give it a try. You won't lose anything. Isn't it? Shameless. Your parents know. You will be hurt like this." Qin Yuan tried to manipulate through moral coercion again. The effect is minimal. "It's nothing. My parents will support me." He smiled brilliantly. Under the joyful delight, it is the insatiable thirst that cannot be hidden. This woman has already lost her mind. This is a quiet room. Footsteps came from next door. It is the unresolved stomping of the public executioner. I don't know either. Does he really have it? Noticing the situation here. But it's obvious that the lady is not happy right now. Forget it. Quick and decisive, Qin Yuan gritted his teeth and made a decision. Rather than wasting time, noticed something was off by his wife. Let him get what he wants. Leave by yourself. Upon hearing this, Yu Gong's eyes sparkled with golden light. She directly took Qin Yuan's big hand, pressed against the chest. He pursed his fragrant lips. She pleaded delicately, "Just don't back out at the last minute. Escape? Where else is safe?" At this moment, Qin Yuan, just wanting to end it all quickly, thinking of these times, his palm moved slightly without intention, although it is not advantageous to do so. In this awkward situation, it had a tremendous impact. Ailing helplessly, he placed the acupuncture needle on Qin Yuan's shoulder. Body temperature keeps rising. Like a warm stove, it is scorching. Don't say that. Not sharp enough. The palm couldn't help but twist a couple of times. On Yu Gong's beloved Alice's fair skin, all covered in a layer of red jade. The actions are really too ambiguous. Qin Yuan was afraid of doing anything out of line. After a simple operation, then retracted his palm. "I told you so." No use. His old face flushed. Looking at, the palm still retains residual warmth. What is surging in the chest? Yu Gong ai lai wen yan just shook his head, walked forward without any discouragement. There is an ancient saying in the Dragon Kingdom, "Do not accumulate waste." Without reaching 1,000 miles, do not underestimate small streams. Without being able to become a river or sea, I want it to be effective. But once is not enough. So tomorrow, can you help me again? Qin Yuan bit his lip, not daring to agree easily. Scented with that girl's fragrance. A scent similar to flowers. My mind is already a tangled mess of the world. He tried to change the subject. Late at night. It is a good time to learn. What are you still standing there for? Reading a book. I was taken aback by the sudden statement. Yu Gong aili tugged at her clothes. Thrown onto the cute joke's body. Scolded like a stern teacher. It's the last year of high school. If you don't work hard, you'll fall behind. Will be left far behind by others. Do you still want to go to Dongda? Upon hearing these words, Yu Gong sighed. A faint bitter smile appeared. Got it, got it. You really are quite strict. Speaking, her delicate little hands gently pressed against Qin Yuan's chest. With a strong push, push him down on the bed, then pounced on it, leaning sideways against the chest. Said with a faint smile, "I need to study hard. Please don't move around and disturb me. Where can one learn by leaning on someone else's shoulder? It's already hot in the middle of summer. Stuck for so long." The girl's body temperature was radiating warmth. Qin Yuan couldn't help but feel like exploding. On one side is the little demon fairy. On the other side is the angry lady. All right, all right, all right. The tiger doesn't show its power. Do you really think I'm a sick cat? Qin Yuan made a bold decision. In the originally murky eyes, suddenly it sparkled with golden light. Feeling the girl in my arms, wildly twisting the anxious body of youth, he waved his hand grandly. Hold it tightly. A sudden action. Yu Gong aili was so frightened that she didn't know what to do, just about to call out. But Qin Yuan reached out to cover her fragrant lips. Qin Yuan walked towards what looked like a ripe, the red earlobes of the apple, gently blowing warm air. Spoke up. Aren't you supposed to study hard? looking at your book. Don't mind me. Yugong Ali widened her beautiful eyes. In this situation, how can one be so indifferent? He stared at Qin Yuan in astonishment. The man in front of me, the usual coyness is no longer present, but also with a hesitant look. Instead, take the initiative to strike. Pinned him down, unable to resist. He never expected it to turn out like this. Qin Yuan covered him, the large hands with fragrant lips released. Nonetheless, he had no intention of calling for help, but nervously focused on the knowledge in the book. I want to calm my mind down. Long Yuo has an old saying, those who know how to adapt are called wise. But you must not resist. He wrapped his arms around the slender waist of the girl. He lifted the girl's delicate, fragrant foot. Yugong Ali hurriedly struggled. Picking up the clothes, I just wanted to run away. Qin Yuan could no longer bear it. Completely overwhelmed, in the blink of an eye, Yugong Ali was roughly pressed onto the bed. The shirt still carries the scent of fish. Gently landing on the ground, suddenly appeared before me. It is a perfectly exquisite white body, baby-like delicate skin, as fragile as a blown feather. Zhu Jai Shen Xue, but by Lai Taowang, filled with youthful and healthy vitality. That graceful figure, the thin should be thin, and the fat should be fat. From head to toe, not a bit of excess flab, on the well-rounded, perky peach bottom, with a waist that can be held in a gentle grasp, long and slender beautiful legs, strong and well-rounded from long-term training, as smooth as Yanjai jade, delicate and flawless. 10. It's getting late. Let's go to sleep first. I have to study tomorrow. Yugong Aladun suddenly felt a bit flustered, soaked with sweat, looking at the fierce Qin Yuan. Taking advantage of this quiet night, I want to teach well, some precious knowledge. Don't think about escaping. I left you. Just don't come back anymore. My head feels heavy right now. I can't remember anything. I can't waste your precious time. Next time for sure. She was putting up a futile resistance and struggle. Qin Yuan did not retreat, but instead stepped forward, climbing up the fabric that covers the important parts. Qin Yuan's eyes were half closed. Bending down, she smiled gently and said, "Learning can't rely solely on the mind." What does it mean? Yugong Ali breathed heavily in anxiety, but the overwhelming masculine scent permeated the entire body. It will only arouse her instincts. Qin Yuan's gaze flickered. A large hand gently pressed on her shoulder, besides making the brain remember, I have an even more effective way. It is to let the body remember. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Yugong Ali's neck is long and elegant, resembling that of a swan, a sea of crimson. Her upturned face was as rosy as the evening glow. See that enchanting jade-faced blush. Qin Yuan leaned down towards the earlobe. A warm breeze blew out. Yugong Ali understood what she meant. In simple terms, it is to form muscle memory. It's what is commonly referred to as, let's transform into a certain shape. She nodded, opened their mouth and said, as long as I can do it, I will definitely make it happen. In order to learn, she also went all out. You can't catch tiger cubs without entering the tiger's den, going to college. Of course, you have to start with elementary school first. Qin Yuan smiled faintly upon hearing this. Reach out and lift those matching feet. The rubber body folded together, full of fleshiness. A tremendous visual impact. Dazzling. Qin Yuan stepped forward, gently sway the earlobe of Yugong Ali, and gently blow. Sio Ai Lai. There isn't much time left. You need to put in more effort. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Yubong Ali swallowed hard. In the past, she always tested others. Today is the opposite of the heavenly forces. Is this reasonable? This is unreasonable. Originally petite in stature. Moreover, this easily misunderstood posture. I'm not a masochist. Yugong Ali's eyes glistened with tears. Directly get started. Lift King Yuan's shirt, exposing those defined six-pack abs. Delicate jade fingers rested on the chest. Slide down along the abdomen. The sensation of fingertips rubbing against the skin. Let King Yuan feel restless and hot. The fire of passion within. It also soared at an almost straight angle. You rascal. She clenched her teeth, glaring fiercely at the joke. Yet I find myself unable to stop. Seeing this, Yu Guan Ali, the corners of his mouth lifted slightly, repeatedly pinning the hair behind the ears, just about to take out the rope and tie it up. That's when I realized I forgot to bring it. She immediately raised her gaze towards Qin Yuan. She said with a light smile, "Can you please help me grab my hair?" Hesitate for a second. It is disrespectful to future generations. She nodded in agreement, reaching out to gather the scattered embroidered hair, and held tightly. The preparations are all set. Yubong Ali no longer waited, lowered the needle. Just absorb and learn well. Master new knowledge. Looking at the handsome face in front of me, she grew more excited and thrilled. She extended her delicate little tongue, licked her rosy, fragrant lips. A layer of rosy clouds appeared on her jade-like face. Such a scene. Qin Yuan felt a strong sense of familiarity. Can't help but sigh. The play really looks more like it now. What's wrong? Hearing this, Yugong Ali looked up in confusion and asked. Qin Yuan quickly waved his hand and said, "It's nothing. Let's continue learning. It's like they are mother and son, just like it was carved out. Even the prelude is almost synchronized. Regardless of the alluring beauty, still a strong personality. It's almost a perfect match. Did you think it was a killing? If you don't like it, you can cover your eyes. Of course, you can cover my face too." Yubong Ali is very considerate. Speaking, just picked up the shirt from the ground. It can also be used freely. But, are you having so much fun? In that case, why not just cover the whole upper body? Anyway, there's nothing much to it. It's actually quite good. What I want is 10 pairs of twins. The door to the room was kicked open forcefully. Bright light flooded the dim room, dazzling, just when the two of them were looking puzzled. A graceful figure holding a flashlight walked in carelessly. On the delicate face, filled with anger, catch a little wild cat that steals hearts. Why not surrender already? A familiar voice flooded into my ears. Qin Yuan looked at the beautiful woman in front of him. Couldn't help but shiver all over. Chajai. Yugong Shashai crossed her arms, gazing at the tall neck of Langsh. Staring at the two, she pointed at Yuyong Ali. "Serious path. Yugong Ali. Do you know the crime?" Yubong Ali sighed while propping her chin on her hand. She is also deeply infatuated. I didn't expect Yuyong Shashai to suddenly barge in. She put on a shirt. Said lightly, "If only I had arrived a little later. You can learn good things. That thing can only be seen by me. You are still too young." Yugong Shashai's face at this moment. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red. He said angrily, "Whose family studies have come to bed?" Yugong Ali shrugged, saying it with a calm face and steady heart. "I said this is a massage. Do you believe it?" The beautiful woman at the entrance of the inn, tightly holding onto the pink circle. Clearly don't believe. Yubong Ali, he could only helplessly look at Qin Yuan. What a pity. It seems today's tutoring has ended early. I'll come to find you again tomorrow. I have indeed learned a lot of good things today. Wanyan, Qin Yuan said with concern. You dare to learn, yet I don't dare to teach. It's okay now. Only see this joke as beautiful as an angel's smile. Just take it. Glanced at Yubong Shajai. Looking at that flushed little face, I smiled faintly. She got dressed. He took the documents and left. Only King Yuan and Yu Gong Shajai remain, recounting old stories in the dimly lit room. That stinky girl. What are you pretending to be? Mingaming has never eaten before. It's as if she won, daring to seduce the Ken army. Sooner or later she will do it. Yu Gong Shajai clenched her silver teeth tightly, took the lead to ask, "What exactly did you two just do?" "I really don't have anything with Zio AI Lai." Qin Yuan turned his head away, not daring to look directly. How could it be nothing? Yugong Shajai tilted her red lips, wanting to say something but suddenly stopping. Zio AI Lai and so on, laughing so happily. She stood with her hands on her slender waist, clearly feeling a bit jealous. Tokyo, Sigu District. Neon lights flickered, illuminate the pitch-black sky. On the bustling streets, young men and women gather in groups of 3 or 4, fully showcasing youthful vitality. Shajai, why don't you lie down and rest for a while? Unlike the bustling street market outside the window, in the dimly lit room, Qin Yuan couldn't help but sigh. She gripped the bedsheet tightly. A timid glance. Seems intellectual and mature. Yet the beautiful woman in her heart was filled with jealousy. At this moment, I feel like I want to die. I sensed that sharp, burning gaze upon me. The body couldn't help but tremble. Finished. This time they were caught red-handed. Madam won't. Really want to nag someone, huh? It really might be possible. It's something she could do. Even if it's my younger sister. She is afraid she won't be able to act without any psychological burden. Maybe by then, even myself. Unintentionally sweat-soaked my entire body. That body with clearly defined lines and no hint of excess flesh. Thoroughly exposed. Suspicion with Gong Shadai. Desire's gaze. Ailey is a good child. I would never do something so shameless. So, please tell me properly. What exactly is going on? Yuan Gong Shashai said calmly. She walked slowly to sit down next to Qin Yuan, and gently touched her chest. Good child. What a joke. This little fox spirit. Give some color and the dining room opens. I don't mind. She will be able to develop a relationship with Qin Jun in the future. But this progress is too fast, isn't it? I can't accept it. Chajai, if you don't like it, I will try to avoid contacting AI Lai in the future. Qin Yuan asked softly. Can't help but speak my mind, Tuomo. Only her words could be seen, like the most deadly charm, in the blink of an eye. Then she was embraced by the passionately warm Mrs. Under the meticulous care of Gong Shajai, she was pressed onto the bed in disheveled clothes. With a sap, the flashlight rolled onto the ground. The next moment, a breathtaking landscape unfolds before us. Only a charming and graceful, beautiful woman was seen, leaning in with a serious expression. The slender willow leaf eyebrows are curved, long eyelashes, with a pair of big eyes, blinking from time to time. It seems like it's about to drip water, enchanting. The movement with Gong Shashai is not fast, but very experienced, with just a few strokes of effort. Only 2 pieces of barely their underwear remain. There's no need to go to such lengths. She brushed her embroidered hair, speaking softly and gently, like an eagle of heavenly music, lingering in the ears. Every move is dignified and elegant. Every frown and smile feels like a spring breeze. That would upset you. King Yuan couldn't help but breathe heavily. As I leaned closer, her jade-like face became even more stunning and enchanting. Sweat beads started to form on his face. Her cherry-like lips slightly parted. Even the ordinary sound of breathing is pleasant. Am I such a stingy person? As long as you like it. I can. Now go and give the Ali Bangyuan to you. As long as the Qin army desires. Even if I join in. That is also up to your discretion to choose the worthy. There will be no resistance. This doesn't seem appropriate. Upon hearing this, Yu Gong Sheshai smiled sweetly. There was a faint flush on her face. That originally smooth and fair skin. Desire reveals temptation after responding. Now I know it's inappropriate. What were you doing just now? A gentle voice began to speak. King Yuan's pair of heart-like eyes. Can't help but open my eyes. I believe. You really did nothing at all. Yu Gong Shashai said calmly. Hands on the chest. That already proud curve, highlighting the contrasts of fullness and slenderness even more. The two pieces of lingerie had little effect. Filled to the brim by a flawless jade body, I can't help but marvel. At the age of 30, a pair of bowl-shaped curves. There are no signs of sagging at all. Instead, it stands proudly with vibrant energy. Then let's end it like this for tonight. Still talking. Her gaze couldn't help but move downward. That relates to the Aeorin curve. A slender waist that forms a striking contrast. Unbearable to hold. The so-called willow sways in the wind. That's how it is. Perhaps it's too close. The scent that belongs exclusively to mature women, flooding into the nasal cavity. Look closely. Those beautiful and passionate Dan Feng eyes. Unexpectedly charming and seductive. Sensual and rich aroma. It makes one want to savor it carefully. Absolutely not. That kind of blunder just happened. How can it still be like this at this moment? Harboring such twisted thoughts. Calm down, calm down. Let's just get through tonight safely first. Then I'll sleep here tonight. Just as love strives to dispel evil thoughts. Looking at this graceful figure, how difficult can it be? Enough to make a man feel as if he is soaring to the sky. During a mesmerizing moment, the calmness of killing with the public. She is in the embrace of love. Don't worry. In the deep silence of the night, no matter what happens, no one else will know either. The soundproofing in this room isn't very good. There's a slight movement. I'm afraid the whole apartment will know. It's really embarrassing. If by any chance, what should I do if I broke the bed? Purchase a new bed. Then we can only let Kingshan stay. Room. Yeah. King Yuan tilted her head, somewhat unclear. For a moment, I couldn't understand what she meant. But you know you've made a mistake. Still want to make a mistake to the end? It was precisely because it was already very late. If we cause any trouble, it seems even more obvious now. King Yuan couldn't help but speak up. Sorry, I can't assist with that. He nodded at the public execution. Then Dowse said, But what does that matter? Even if they find out something, what can be done about it? Moreover, this isn't our first time, is it? You were already mentally prepared for this. Hearing these words, King Yuan felt, although my heart grew increasingly worried. But it must be acknowledged. If it's the first time, she might still be shy, but now it feels exciting instead. Let's go to bed early then. The sound fell like silver bells. He fought against the public but was not honest about it. The waste of a fateful love, bypassing the abdominal muscles, needing the stiff, Hard buttocks of the chain. The bond of fate retaliated stubbornly. Attention-grabbing curvy figure. Ripples began to form gently, round and perky, even when looking through the fabric. You can also feel the softness of the pink bottom, the heart and soul of the party, the long, slender legs below, also interpreting the creator's favoritism. It truly resembles an exquisite work of art. Gaze fixed intently, holding tightly in my arms my exquisite plaything, the faint musk in the suburbs, gradually encircling the entire body with affection. Your phone is ringing. A gentle voice like the spring breeze began to resonate. Yugong, killed with calm indifference, took out the phone from the pocket of the emotional pants. It was indeed AI live from the space palace calling. Bihai, I just assigned her some tasks. There are probably some places that I don't understand. So I came to ask. What a studious and good child. King Yuan calmly began to argue on Qi Yu Gong's face. But it became gloomy. When I was foolish. And it's just a wall's distance away. It's just about studying. Is it necessary to make a phone call? Then connect the call. Prove it to me. After being directly exposed, King Yuan gritted her teeth and replied, Please don't interrupt suddenly. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Yugong, please accept this. Very well behaved. Though, what are you up to so late at night? Connection through fate. Just said a word and then froze. Just then, when she was confused, Yugong's lips curled slightly, revealing a strange smile. Sigh. On the handsome face of King Yuan, a flush of red appeared. Step back slightly, watching Yugong closely. Skilled technique, layer by layer. Untie her belt, gazing at that rosy, upturned face. Its purpose is already self-evident. Thinking of this, King Yuan looked at the phone. This is Yugo Aries' first question. What happened on your side? I am just, by accident, I stubbed my toe on the bedpost. The bond was gently reciprocated. His gaze occasionally flicked toward the beautiful woman beneath him, seeing her eager expression. Even if I reach out to drive it away, it will inevitably be like a ferocious beast stirred by flames. Launch a more vigorous offensive. Stubbed my toe. It must hurt a lot, right? Do you want me to help you? It is said. Gently can relieve pain. A soft voice of Yugong Ai echoed, filled with care. No need. A love story of laughter and tears. This small injury is nothing to worry about. Why don't you tell me why you called? What if someone suddenly barges in? It seems like a conflict is about to erupt. Whether it's Yubong Sheshai or myself, now it all looks shameful. As if sensing the difficulties of fate, Yubong shot tilted her head. The beautiful eyes gazed at love. If we do something strange now, will the beloved rebel? She definitely doesn't want Ellie to find out. Since that's the case, King Yuan endured the turmoil in her heart. With a gentle smile, Ko Yugong Ai continued to ask, If there's nothing else, I'll hang up now. Don't. Yugong Ai clutched her chest. Leaning against the wall, he spoke with concern. Are you saying our relationship is just a simple physical one? If there's nothing going on, we can't keep in touch. How can you still speak so arrogantly? She is just a little girl, enduring the wrath of the madam. A hint of jealousy between the brows. Don't speak so ambiguously. Say it again. It's so late. I really do want to rest early, although it is unclear what Yuyong Ailey's intentions are. But what can be certain is I can no longer hold back. About to be exposed, hearing the cold tone of love's fate in Yuyuan Ailey's watery eyes, revealing a hint of loneliness. Actually, I have been keeping a very important secret from you all along." King Yuan Wennian was momentarily taken aback. Then his face turned pale. Wei Yi winced in pain. Secret. What does she really mean? Could it be that actually she had already eaten it secretly? I am timid. Don't scare me. If I say this girl is actually already pregnant, doesn't that make my position quite awkward? Her slender, beautiful eyes were half closed, looking up and down at the relationship. She is about to go crazy. Isn't it still too early? Everything will fall into place in due time. The time is right. I will tell you. Yugong Ali deliberately teased. King Yuan tightly clenched his fist, extremely angry. I really can't stand people who say something halfway and then stop. It's like a web novel you were really into suddenly stops updating. It shouldn't be that kind. Actually, you were already pregnant with my child. This is an outrageous plot, isn't it? Go away. I haven't done that kind of thing before, okay? Do you really think King is pregnant? Yugong Ali's lips twitched slightly. Can't help but complain. Yugong Shashai pressed her thin lips and remained silent. Yet in her heart she kept nodding. That's good. At least the initiative is still in my hands. King Yuan sighed gently upon seeing the situation. Anyway, there's nothing else to do. Let's hang up first. After all, such a large apartment. There are more than just a few of them living here. Disturbing someone else's rest. Not good either. Can't we chat for a bit longer? Yugong Ali pleaded. There will be plenty of opportunities to talk tomorrow. Late at night. It's better to rest early. Yugong Ali pouted and sighed. So wake up early tomorrow. The relationship is just a facade. Aha, the words have fallen. Yugong Ali reluctantly hung up the phone. The fate of love is revealed. He looked at her with a serious expression. Slowly raise your arm. But it scared Yumiya Saki so much that she couldn't help but furrow her brows tightly. Could it be that I was secretly eating while she was on the phone? Did I upset her? After all, there was just a wall separating us. If you make some noise, it's easy to be discovered. King John is indeed AI Lai's teacher. No matter how you say it. You wouldn't want to embarrass yourself in front of the students, would you? But I really can't help it. Wah wah wah. Don't poke me. I will dare next time. Looking at a beautiful woman looking like a child who has made a mistake. The corner of King Yuan's mouth softened slightly. That soft, tender voice gently weeps, with a hint of pleading, matching with the clear and bright appearance of oil lotus when I see her. It's simply an exquisite oil mist. A slight restlessness in my heart. Emotional ties strive for calmness. Dan said, "It's getting late. You should go to bed early too. If you want to stay here tonight, that's fine. But don't mess around anymore." Yugong Shashai nodded obediently, feeling full and satisfied. Seems very well behaved. King Yuan lay down greedily. A whole day of playfulness. It left her exhausted. King John looks so tired and worn out. Before she could come to her senses, Yugong Shashai suddenly leaned over, nestled in the embrace of love, breathing steadily, didn't move at all. A sudden action, still letting love make the heart race uncontrollably. A layer of pink climbs up the skin, seemed even more shy, feeling the soft jade body in my arms. She couldn't help but steal a glance beneath that pitifully delicate beauty. It is an astonishingly remarkable curve. General Mike, the five-star critic, once said, "If I had to choose between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, I will definitely take both," continuously descending along the proud curve. Delicate and smooth belly, slightly revealing skin as perfect and flawless as Yanjiu. No way, no way. This way I can't fall asleep. The love fate unintentionally brushed past the rotten flesh, hastily shifting their body. I want to keep my distance. And silently recite the calming mantra in your heart. Don't go. Seeing the love fate wanting to escape. With Gong Shajai, lift the long, fair eyebrows, embracing the waist of love in a sweet and delicate tone, exuding an alluring, natural charm. Your muscles are so stiff. Aren't you too tired? She felt the hard, unyielding body of her fate. I couldn't help but ask for news. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Sorry, I can't assist with that. The fateful encounter waved goodbye. This won't do. The body is capital. Let me help you. She kept talking. Desire blooms like a rosy dawn. Shyly lowered her head. Yet I can't see my toes at all. Goodbye then. Didn't we agree to go to sleep obediently? The more you do this, the stiffer I become. Let me go. Bong Shatai's lips curled up slightly, rolling onto the body of love. A charming voice that sends shivers down the spine echoed. Don't move. I will help you check it thoroughly. Being forcefully suppressed by Gong Shatai, fate entwined helplessly at the mercy of others. The next moment, the sound of clothes being torn echoed. Ah, I've gained weight. You've been eating well lately. He threw the torn T-shirt on the ground, looking at the fair skin of love exposed in the air. Huarong smiled charmingly and alluringly. Couldn't help but poke at my abs. Qingyuan gritted her teeth and remained silent. Lying there in humiliation, the body climbs up a layer of faint red hue. How did it become popular? Don't touch it like that. Who isn't famous? Qingyuan's body trembled slightly. Extend your arm. Block those aggressive first moves. Continue to act recklessly. Oh dear. Still want to resist? So cute. Gong Shajai has charming, crescent-shaped eyes, soft as water, gently tracing the defined contours of his chest with my fingertips. My heart is racing so fast. Your body is still so hot. Could it be a fever? Must check it carefully. Upon hearing this, Qingyuan shook her head in fear. You just acted provocatively. The annoying Mrs. Sakura. Do we really have to settle this tonight? The scent on my body is also pleasant. It is a special smell that has never been encountered before. I love the scent of floral water so much. I'll give you a few bottles. Please let me go. Fate accompanies a smiling face, softly persuading. Shajai, have a good sleep, better than any good medicine. You should get some rest. Speaking, her large hand held the delicate hand of Gong Shajai. Gently move aside, trying to keep a distance, when Gong Shajai suddenly exerted strength, unleashing a terrifying power that belies its appearance. Join hands of fate. All are held down tightly and unable to move, and skillfully took out the handcuffs to lock them. Such a smooth and flowing set of movements. It only took a few seconds. The bond still feels surprising. Where did the handcuffs come from? Was completely suppressed. At this moment, she is completely at the mercy of others. After a moment of contemplation, she plotted half-heartedly, calm and composed. Can you unlock the handcuffs? My hands hurt. Hearing this, Wen Yan and Gong Shajai lowered their heads in silence. The hesitant appearance. Clearly, I don't want to hurt our feelings. Let's untie it after we finish eating. But I want to. Being embraced by the Qin army. She sighed, whispered, then you better not resist any more. Ch. Seeing her let down her guard, Qingyuan let out a sigh of relief. Gong Shatai cleverly unlocked the handcuffs. The romantic connection suddenly ignited. He flipped over and pinned her down, seized the initiative. The greater righteousness is Jingju. Sha Zhai, you are too careless. She smiled proudly. Qi Yugong Sha Zhai. But there was no fear at all. Upon hearing this, she blinked her eyes. In her wide-open, beautiful eyes, full of surprise and excitement, fate has left me no choice but to roast Gong Shashai. After changing into new clothes, took out another coat. Again, give it to Gong Shashai, even though I can't wear it. But at least cover it a bit, although it is said that with Gong Shashai on her body, not for the sake of an inch of land, but only 2 pieces of cloth covering, it's a bit too refreshing. It made her feel very angry, with Gong Shashai beautifully tilting her face. Filled with disappointment, "Aren't you going to do something?" She huddled pitifully at the jade well, seemed helpless and disappointed. "Are you going to leave me here alone again?" A person is really bored, and the hand was pinned down, even to alleviate one's own loneliness. None of this is possible. What a vicious lie. Unfortunately, I just want to take a good rest now. Otherwise, this little demon will insist. Unable to straighten my back. It's so noisy. Sneaky paths are just sneaky paths. What's all this noise about? At that moment, the door was suddenly pushed open, with Gong Ailey, wearing cute pajamas. She walked in, pouting angrily. She stared with wide eyes, looking at the scene in the room. Suddenly, I was stunned. Only Jian and Gong Shashai were handcuffed, although wearing a thin coat. Yet it cannot hide that delicate figure. Fate is like putting on fine clothes. Pieces of clothing on the ground. Clearly, something has already happened. Duo, just as Gong Neilai covered her mouth. When in hesitation, it was as if Gong Shashai thought of something, quickly raised her jade foot, the hem of the garment that binds our fate, shyly yet excitedly said, "Surely I can't satisfy you alone, right? Then let's let Ailai join too, although I want to enjoy it alone. But in the current situation, clearly impossible. It's better to not eat at all. How about sharing a feast with Ailai? Why is it so thrilling right from the start?" Listen. Her alluring voice made one feel a delightful tingle all over. Love at first sight, with Lord Ailai. First, just entangle with the green silk, shyly expressing, "I have no experience. It will affect your performance. Just come boldly and confidently." Gong Shaddai swore an oath sincerely. "It's okay, you can confess. King John must be. They would likely be very willing." King Yuan blushed and wanted to refuse. The temptation of the sisters is too strong. She couldn't help but hesitate for a moment. But a moment of hesitation. It is enough to see her attitude. With the courage to face Gong Ailey, Jianbu stepped forward. Soft and sticky body, face the love head on. Shu Shu gently stroked the back of the Hushi. The movements are gentle. It won't make anyone feel uncomfortable. The joy of love is experienced in the moment, unable to extricate oneself. But the remnants of reason reoccupy the brain. If I truly obeyed, from evening to dawn, she won't have to go to work tomorrow, lying at home for a whole day and night. She spoke calmly, pretending to be composed. "Alec, how long has it been since you sisters slept together?" Gong Ailey tilted her head. "Last time was still last time, right? Just right. You sisters should have a good talk tonight. I will live next door." Love speaks. Without hesitation, just throw Gong Ailey onto the bed. Holding the key by myself, ran into Gong Shashai's room. Locked the main door. "I want to run." "No way." Yuan Shazhai gritted his silver teeth. The hands broke free from the handcuffs. looking at the broken handcuffs scattered on the ground. Gong Ailey stared in astonishment. Shajai, are you still human? Waved goodbye to Gong Shajai. It's just a toy made of plastic. It's not something that can be easily broken with brute force. With Gong Ailey, still immersed in deep shock, holding hands with Gong Shajai, she opened her mouth and said, "Don't waste time. Tonight, the Qin army will definitely not be spared." Looking into my sister's determined eyes, with Gong Ai Lai, in the end it still chose compromise. Sisters united, Kai Lai Du and Jin. At this moment they are on the big bed, breathing in the sweet fragrance of Qin Yuan, wiped the sweat from his forehead, enjoying the joy of escaping from despair. Although I don't want to treat them so harshly, but I can only do this for my kidneys. One is not too bad. Then it would truly be a life and death situation. She lay down and just closed her eyes. Suddenly a soft, rubbery body pounced over, directly pinned her down. Qin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes, only saw Gong Shajai pressed on top of him. The gaze was fiercely fixed on her, then struck a pose in the M shape. At the entrance, Ai Lai waved to greet. "Didn't I lock the door? How did you get here?" Qin Yuan was extremely anxious. "My mind is blank. I saw the gelatinous body folding together, full of fleshiness, a tremendous visual impact. Dazzling, gazing at the slowly approaching Ai Lai, the elongated neck of the four white swans, a flutter of red. Her upturned face glowed like the evening clouds at sunset. It seems like a decision has been made. Rebel again. I'll just kick you out of the house." Threatened by Gong Sheshai. How could this happen? The despicable Tokyo sisters. I will make you cry sooner or later. As two fluffy white clouds, rotten meat comes into view. Qin Yuan under coercion, clenching his fist. Gritting my teeth, tears of humiliation streamed down. The following is paid content. One afternoon, Qin Yuan was still sleeping deeply, lying in the quilt, with tired eyes closed. A beam of strong light pierced into the room, illuminating his fair face. Breathing in the fragrance of the girl's sorrow, gently licking their lips. Still feeling unsatisfied, they turned over. A villager slowly approached, gently rubbing against the cheek. There is no strange smell. Instead, it's sweet and soft. The delicate touch leaves a lasting impression. Master of the clan puffed up their cheeks in discontent. As cute as a little hamster. The 5 golden and silver toes stood upright, gently poked at Qin Yuan's mouth corner. "Maybe I'm hungry." Qin Yuan couldn't help but open his mouth to bite. The moment the back teeth fell, a low sound resonated. Then a slap landed on his cheek. "Man, woo, it hurts." Yu Gong Ailey lay on Qin Yuan's lap, on the delicate blood-red buttocks, leaving behind heavy handprints. He drew up his figure, unforgettably glaring at Qin Yuan, not understanding how to cherish delicate beauty at all. "You idiot! Who made you give me that kind of food?" "You slapped me again." Qin Yuan spoke coldly. Unfortunately, opposition was in vain. This idiot joke. Miming looks like an elementary school student. "Why do I feel like it's not deep at all?" Qin Yuan gently tapped with his fingertip, rubbing the girl's back, fingers resting on the waist. Why used a little force. "You bastard. Don't touch randomly. Say hello to Miss Ai Lai for me. Don't talk about outside. I've searched through everything inside." Qin Yuan smiled faintly, tearing at the thin pajamas while laughing. The last uniqueness shattered into fragments. Ivory white moving body, presented without reservation. The wind of Hanyuan, delicate willow waist, like a perfect and flawless work of art. like a jade arm, long brow legs. Seeing Qin Yuan go crazy with opportunity. Take another look at that pure and charmingly beautiful face. It's simply a dance on the bed. Last night, he also has deep insights. Indeed, it's quite good. These sisters are truly exceptional. Embrace the joke in your arms. King Yuan was sucking greedily. That lingering fragrance. Took out my phone to check the time. It is already past 3 in the afternoon, and the deep winter black milk has long since called him countless times. Unfortunately, I slept too deeply. I didn't hear anything at all. It's already like this. Do you still have to go to work? After being thoroughly devoured by these two women, Qin Yuan also lacked much motivation. I just want to lie at home and rest well. So I sent a message. I want to take a leave. Unexpected gift from deep winter Xuanai. It was easily accepted. Even thinking about it. You should bring some supplements to see me. Qin Yuan casually found an excuse to decline, then dropped the phone, fully enjoying the warmth of the girl in his arms. Raised to death. Don't kiss anymore. Yugong Ai Lai pouted her small lips and said, covered in stamps. It made him extremely shy. Last night was just too crazy. Accidentally got a little too open. This also preserved a lot of stamina. Woke up at noon. I just feel like my skin is better than usual. Spirit is better. By the way, where did Shajai go? Qin Yuan looked around, though I can smell the familiar fragrance left by Yugong Shajai. But I can't see her figure. Sister, she went to buy groceries to prepare dinner, Yugong Ailey said, pulling her neck in. They said they would prepare a lavish meal in the evening. After all, you haven't even had lunch. It's better to stay up late at night. Upon hearing this, Qin Yuan immediately sensed that the visitor meant trouble. Tonight is another life and death game, but it will take quite some time. How about we don't study today? Yugong smiled and said, that's not acceptable. Qin Yuan refused. Learn for a lifetime, life for a lifetime. Seeing the girl's frustrated expression, she said again, however, if you're tired of those few books, you can also try learning some other things. Yu Gong was overjoyed. Xuanji Dao, then teach me how to play the game. Qin Yuan was taken aback. I agreed. Playing games. Sure. Which one do you want to play? Huh? I borrowed a laptop from the store manager these past few days. There's a popular style inside. ARP game. Teach me, will you? Yugong loves Ailey Dao. Qin Yuan nodded and said, no problem. Bao Jiao Bao Hui. Yugong Ai Lai heard Qin Yuan's guarantee. Xuanji happily put on her clothes. Returned to the house. I brought the notebook over. She plugged in the power. Let's prepare for a battle of 19. The clothes need to pass through with a strong momentum. As I logged into the game interface, the teaching level has been unlocked. As for this girl, Qin Yuan is quite confident. It's unlikely to complete it in a short time, but at least it won't be like the snowy winter milk. Let's close it for half a day. Yugong took a deep breath. Fingers danced rapidly over the keyboard. Soon passed the basic training. I heard it's very difficult. So it was nothing special. She proudly puffed out her chest. Qin Yuan couldn't help but cover his face and sigh. If it weren't for the teaching level having infinite health bars. She has died 800 times already. However, the later levels are not that difficult. It should be grasped quickly. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. With a horse meat, continuously falling in various poses, Qin Yuan couldn't help but complain. Ellie, you really enjoy playing with this big-headed doll. Yugong took a deep breath. Stay calm. Once I familiarize myself with her attack patterns, it'll be fine. After a while longer. Qin Yuan Dao, I see you've been playing for 2.5 hours. Still fighting with her. Yugong blushed. Hold your head high, brother. I can already take away half of the health. Watch me operate. After a long time, Qin Yuan asked, is there only one monster in this game? Why do you keep hitting her? Yugong Ai Lai's face turned red as she fell silent. The aching fingertips stopped once again. Sigh, you've turned into a hare again, Qin Yuan said softly. Feeling hopeless, she immediately got up. I'm going to the bathroom. After returning, I only saw the character operated by Yugong Ai, standing on the familiar road. Couldn't help but complain. This road, didn't we just walk past here? Yugong Ai heard this. Close the notebook. My ears turned completely red. The steam is rising, tightly holding the pink circle. Without hesitation, it smashed down. Ron, don't hit me. I won't say anything more. Qin Yuan quickly begged for mercy. Yugong Ai Lai finally gave up. Sit back in the chair. Continue hitting the big-headed doll. Qin Yuan murmured persistently. If you can't handle criticism, then don't play. Sister. Seeing the girl on the verge of collapse, she thought for a moment. I couldn't help but lean in and ask, Eli, I helped you beat this boss. Can you promise me a small favor? Yugong Ai Lai was so angry that she didn't want to speak. Just move aside, so cold and indifferent. Qin Yuan saw her acquiescence. Easy to operate. In less than 2.5 minutes. The battle was resolved. First operation. The fish prince stared at Alice in astonishment. All right. Now I can tell you. The secret you mentioned that cannot be disclosed. Qin Yuan inquired about the illness. Yugong Ai Lai was momentarily stunned, staring blankly at Qin Yuan, a secret that cannot be revealed. Listening to the girl's confused tone, she reminded, about what you said on the phone last night. Yugong loves Ailey with a rosy face, hesitant and unable to express fully. Lost my appetite. This girl is really going to drive me crazy. Qin Yuan silently complained. He sighed and said, if you don't want to talk, then I won't ask. I can wait. The moment you are willing to express your true feelings to me. She vaguely guessed the gist of this secret. This person a month ago. We are still strangers. The joke not yet known. Why do I feel an inexplicable sense of familiarity? I like my own habits. A special family situation. A frail and sickly body. These conditions, without a doubt, someone she knew. Coincidence. It's just this kind of thing. It still has to come from her own mouth. Qin Yuan lowered his eyelids, gently tapped Ailey's forehead. All right. Let's keep playing the game. Yugong accepted Alice. Sit back in the chair. Fingers tapping on the keyboard. Mingming defeated the boss in his heart. Yet no matter what, I just can't feel happy. She cast her gaze towards Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan was lying in bed playing on his phone. She bit her lip. Take out your phone too. Switched to a different account. During. Yugong Ai Lai held the pink ring. Delete all the words that have been typed out. Turning to Qin Yuan, he smiled. By the way, what gifts have you prepared these past 2 days? Hearing the word gift, Qin Yuan instinctively froze. Perplexed. Is there a special holiday coming up? I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Yugong rolled his eyes. Explained. Don't you know whose birthday is the day after tomorrow? Qin Yuan blinked his eyes, exhibiting the clear and naive gaze of a college student. I really don't know. Seeing the girl's angry and dissatisfied expression, Qin Yuan stepped forward to help her massage the pan-fried dish. Tenderly speaking, "I'm sorry. I accidentally forgot. Just forgive me." That's what they say. But she has no idea. When is Yugong Ailey's birthday? Yugong loved Ai Lai with a soft hum. Raising her white collar, she spoke. "I advise you well. Get ready. Don't end up regretting it later." Qin Yuan nodded gently. "Agreed. I will make shawarma for you tonight. Don't be angry anymore. Although I don't want to cook, but to make Zio Hue laugh and happy. Then let's be the legends of shawarma for once. Give me something to eat." "Shouldn't it be for my sister?" Yugong tilted his head. "Isn't the day after tomorrow your birthday?" Qin Yuan sincerely said. Yugong Ai Lai understood something profound. "Stand up with confidence." Pinch Qin Yuan's earlobe. Said with anger, "The day after tomorrow is my sister's birthday." "You fool. Not just sisters." "Are you saying that? You don't even know my birthday. You didn't say anything either." Qin Yuan had a mournful expression. The two sisters had never mentioned this matter before. She didn't delve into it too much. "Such things you should know even if you don't say it." Yugong Ailey angrily squeezed Qin Yuan's face. "Gritting my teeth. Especially on my sister's birthday. She usually takes such good care of you. Why do you know nothing at all?" "Run, run. Let me go. HMPH. You need to learn a lesson." She insisted stubbornly. "Just played a game. Severely ridiculed. Now this." Finally, she found the opportunity to fight back. Yugong Ailey pushed her hand forward, pushed Qin Yuan onto the bed. Then she took out a ribbon and tied up her hair. Her cheeks flushed slightly. "Breath like blue. It seems I really have to control you. Wait a moment. What do you want to do?" "Calm down." Laughing at my inappropriateness, Qin Yuan waved his hand in refusal. "But it cannot withstand the passion of a young girl. This is paid content." Not long after, Yugong lay on the bed, feeling content and satisfied, huddled under the covers. In the mouth, "What are you still reminiscing about?" On the cute and playful face, overflowing with happiness, Qin Yuan sat by the bedside, looking at her with fondness, gently scratched Ling Long's nose tip, gently kissed the forehead, looking at that sweet and beautiful sleeping face. Malicious thoughts re-emerge, carefully observing the plump, rosy pig lips, out of a spirit of exploration in science. Slowly raised two fingers, gently poked those tender, fragrant lips, facing the girl's warm, humid breath. The fingertips only apply gentle pressure. He pried open the back door. At this moment, the sound of a door opening comes from outside. Perhaps Yugong has returned from killing. Qin Yuan then gave up on the plan to continue tormenting the girl. Then put on the clothes properly. Entering the hall, Mrs. returned carrying a large bag of items. "Let me help." She stepped forward to help, received a bag. "I don't know either. What else is there besides the ingredients?" "Weighs at least 20 to 30 pounds. Only by killing Yubong can one free their hands." Wiped the sweat off his forehead. "Thank you, Dao. Thank you. A bit niche." "It's okay, right?" Qin Yuan smiled and said, "It's okay, it's okay. Put it in the fridge." "Sure." "Tonight, I'll prepare a sumptuous feast for you." She said with a smile, "Tonight, we must make sure to properly nourish Qin Jun. After all, it's 2 against 1. A true martyr. Only after being fully prepared can we go to war. Ming Ming is just a beginner. Allah's level is quite good. Very talented. But compared to me, that child can only say, still too tender." Qin Yuan listened to this heartfelt voice. My body couldn't help but shiver. Do you like watching movies? I don't have much money on hand. Watching movies is one of the cheapest ways to enhance affection. Do you want to invite me to watch a movie? All right. Yugon nodded repeatedly as he killed it. I know. Recently, there's a particularly interesting horror movie. Do you like watching horror movies? That's fine too. Trembling in fear. Then you won't be rough with yourself anymore. Qin Yu and Dao. Then I'll go with you to see that movie tomorrow. Yes. Is this considered a date invitation? It's my first time going on a date with Qin Jun. After shopping, we watched a movie. Then we went to the hotel for a meal. Just thinking about it makes me so excited. Just eat and go to sleep. Qin Yuan scratched his head and sighed. Dating is secondary. Mainly, I have to take the opportunity to see what he likes. It will be good then. Give a suitable birthday gift. When we lived together as kids, Yugon never revealed his birthday. I have never given any birthday gifts. This is the first time. Be careful in your choices. At least we can't step on a landmine. Of course. Sometimes you have to take risks at hotels. That's settled then. Tomorrow, let's set off in the afternoon. I'll book the movie tickets first. Yugong became so anxious that he started to gesticulate wildly. Ziyan's face turned crimson. Absolutely adorable. Then it's settled. Qin Yu and Dao. So excited. Tonight, we need to eat something nutritious. I can only be in a good mood for a date tomorrow. Do you really want to drink the tea made from Wu Tao's milk? Ken Army. It's time to get up. A familiar soft voice rang in my ears. Qin Yuan furrowed his brows slightly. Open your hazy eyes. The gaze falls beside, like a tree carrying a bear, holding on to his graceful young wife's body. In the deep, affectionate gaze of Yu Gong, radiating love, cheeks like snow on the skin, glimmering with a faint blush. Perhaps it was the intimacy of the actions. His gaze occasionally flickered away. Is Aunt Dan staring at me? You've made me all shy. Usually so indifferent. Now the gaze is so intense. Indeed, women still need to dress up nicely, only by capturing a man's heart. Today I got up early, spent a full hour getting ready, as long as it makes him happy. That will work. Yugong killed her with a gentle smile. Baisai's embroidered face, dusted with a layer of powder. Yuefei's adorable playfulness. Qin Yuan looked him up and down, compared to her usual almost makeup-free look. Today she indeed has on light makeup. Skin is moist, tender, and bouncy. The pig's lips are plump and crystal clear. That dark embroidery technique, carefully dressed and elegantly styled, revealing a long, white neck like that of a swan. Wearing around his neck is a silver necklace identical to Qin Yuan's. Appears elegant and generous. So beautiful. Qin Yuan casually remarked, as long as you like it. Yu Gong killed him and revealed a gentle, radiant smile, beautiful and clear, admiring the beautiful scenery before me as if it were melting. Qin Yuan's cheeks turned red. She scrambled up from the bed in a panic. It's time to set off. His voice rose a few degrees, changed into a different outfit. Ready to set off. Damn it. What are you shy about? Every inch of skin has already been thoroughly examined. Seeing Qin Yuan's shy appearance, Yu Gong killed him. Couldn't help but chuckle softly. So cute. If only it could be like this every day. Being able to spend this mundane daily life with the Qin army. I am content and satisfied. He felt a sense of inner turmoil. The corners of my mouth were slightly bitter. The two set off early in the morning. Arrived at the mall where Yu Gong and Ai Lai had visited before. a vast shopping mall. It is still as cold and desolate as ever. Fortunately, most stores are already open, not to the extent that the two would feel bored. The two stood side by side in front of the mall's map. Yugong killed it. Liu Mei was slightly jealous, somewhat hesitant. Qin Yuan glanced at his empty little hands, then reached out to hold hands. A sudden hand holding. Startled, Lord Yu killed him. He glanced down. Just blushing, I continued to look at the map. No resistance at all. Qin Yuan smiled knowingly. Indulge in the soft touch of that tender palm with your fingertips. Let's just go have some coffee. You didn't get a good rest last night either. Drinking some coffee can also energize you, Yugong said at this moment. Qin Yuan was taken aback. He is clear. Yugong's killing was not because he liked drinking coffee, then pointed to the floor with numerous desserts and milk tea. I don't want to drink coffee. I want to drink some milk tea. Have some small cake. Eating too many sweets. Prone to cavities. It's also easy to gain weight. Yugong killed him, savoring the rich flavor, although he looks a bit unwilling. But even if I don't listen to my heart's voice, Qin Yuan also knew what he was thinking. I haven't eaten it for quite a while. Just consider it as keeping me company. He embraced Yugong's fragrant shoulder, said in a playful tone, already 18 years old, still like a little child. Yugong let out a light snort. Anna, I really can't do anything about you. Then let's just have a bite together. The words were filled with an unmistakable excitement. His footsteps began to bounce joyfully. Double skim milk pudding, milk tea, nakaran, cheesecake. Pihi, it's all mine. Looking at his contradictory expression, Qin Yuan secretly chuckled. Holding that delicate little hand, we got onto the elevator. The two arrived at the corresponding shop. Yugong carefully selected several highly praised pastries and milk tea, happily started eating, glancing at the large bag of food. Indeed, women have two stomachs. This is really delicious. You must give it a try, Kin Army. Yugong killed it, holding a half-eaten tiramisu between two fingers. As if delighted to have found a treasure, Xu Wenji generously handed it to Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan nodded. Gently take a bite without startling. It is indeed very delicious. Yugong killed him with a playful smile. Xu Wenji handed him a bag of pastries. All right, I'll give you all of this. Qin Yuan was instantly at a loss for words. Women have two stomachs. One is a stomach for desserts. One is the boyfriend's stomach. Then I'll eat first. I will give it to you when you're hungry. Qin Yuan took the bag. Yugong killed it with a smile like that of a young girl, filled with the breath of youth. His eyes flickered, laughing and speaking. There are several more shops ahead. It is said online. There are even better dishes. Just look forward to it. She laughed charmingly. Two charming dimples quietly blossomed, opening up Qin Yuan's heart. The two walked hand in hand. Handsome young man and beautiful woman chat and laugh joyfully. Such a scene makes others envious. Suddenly, a dark shadow hurriedly approached. Just happened to bump into the shoulder of Yugong. Is everything okay? Qin Yuan quickly reached out to support. This is what prevented him from falling. Yugong shook his head and said, It's okay. Just got bumped. It doesn't hurt either. Qin Yuan raised his eyebrows slightly, didn't ask any more questions, immediately raised her gaze. Look at the man in black who collided with the killer. The man glanced back. His eyes were filled with a fierce expression, not even an apology. Just walked away. Yugong bit down on his silver teeth and killed him, silent and speechless. Don't be angry. Don't let a small thug affect you. Ruined a day of good mood. Thinking this way, he let out a sigh of relief. After regaining composure, only then did I realize. Kin Yuan has disappeared without a trace. Quickly looked around. Kin Yuan held onto the sleeve of the man in black with one hand. Sternly scolded. Apologize immediately. The man in black suddenly panicked. Looking at the tall Kin Yuan with exceptional swordsmanship, they didn't dare to resist. He hurriedly bowed and apologized. I hurried away without daring to stop. Kin Yuan clapped his hands. Still a bit annoyed. He is not blind either. Such a wide road. It was clearly intentional. If left unattended, then it will lead to taking more and more. There shouldn't be too many people like this in Tokyo. It is simply pure swordsmanship. Only after cleaning up do you realize your mistake. Yugong's lips curled slightly. Snuggling against Kin Yuan's shoulder, she smiled and said, "Left. Let's go buy some clothes." Kin Yuan looked at the beauty in his arms. "Please accept it." Agreed. "Also, buy some for Ailey. Ailey's school uniform that she wears every day isn't great either. The two are no longer just simple neighbors. Buy her some clothes. It is only right. Yu Gong killed him, and Zhang Chun was furious, though it seems reasonable. But hearing another woman's name, there is still some lingering discomfort in my heart. After buying clothes, let's go watch a movie," he invited. Kin Yuan nodded. "Yeah, okay. After finishing lunch. The time is just about right. Yugong kills him." Her gaze sparkled, laughter like flowers in the night. "Good opportunity. I did it on purpose. Spent the wallet at the venue. Take this opportunity. Forget that girl completely. Time passes. By afternoon." The two just entered the venue. I chose a seat in the middle, because it's a private screening. The entire movie theater is unusually quiet. It's about to start. Kin Yuan said lightly, watching the movie title appear. Just as I was about to focus on appreciating the art, Yu Gong suddenly crouched down. Whispered, "Don't look at me." Watching a movie, Kin Yuan saw the shepherdess. Watch a movie? What are you squatting down for? Ambiguous atmosphere, filling the entire theater. It is only natural for Yu Gong to lift his shirt and kill. Her complexion was rosy and radiant. "Stop staring at me. We'll feel shy." Doing this in the cinema. I have only seen it in movies. I didn't expect to experience it firsthand today. Kin Yuan rubbed his temples. "Calm your emotions and be kind." Not allowed. At least not here. "Why, isn't it more exciting here?" Yu Gong swallowed hard and said, "In order to solidify his position in the hearts of the Qin army, must prepare various new tricks. I must never let him feel bored. For this reason, he has just made up his mind. In the cinema, doing such things, listening to his heart's voice." Kin Yuan shook his head repeatedly. "You need to know here. But there are cameras. He will do whatever it takes. I also don't want to be in a place like this." He killed it affectionately. "Kill him. Change the place. I'll stay with you for the whole night. Just the two of us. Are you okay?" Gentle tone neutralized the excitement of Lord Yu's killing. Only the two of them." Instantly my heart blossomed with joy. Nodding repeatedly in agreement. "All right. As long as I can be with you. Anywhere is fine." Looking into his beautiful eyes, flashing pink hearts, Kin Yuan felt a wave of fear. This lady, if you don't keep a close watch, I really don't know what kind of things will happen. The two then quietly watched the movie, set off, continue shopping, take the opportunity to have Yu Gong kill him. Time to choose and change clothes. Qin Yuan walked into a nearby jewelry store. Just took a glance. She took a liking to a golden hairpin. "Welcome." The beautiful lady at the counter. Seeing this, Ru Shen, soft and authentic language. He looked up and down at Qin Yuan. Immediately her brows furrowed slightly. "The shoes won't do. The clothes won't do either. I can't find the car keys. But this face. Handsome is handsome. But looking at, it doesn't look like she's being kept by a rich woman. Please take off that hairpin. Take a closer look at it for me." Qin Yuan spoke. "Sister Gui." Suddenly everything became clear. "Where do you find a man who buys hairpins for himself? It must be a gift for a woman. Such an expensive gift. That woman, either it's the wife, either it's a big shot. No problem. Sister Gui is wearing gloves. Carefully take it off," and placed it on the table. Excitedly began to introduce. "Craftsmanship, modeling, purity. Which craftsman is it from? I wish I could turn it into some Western treasure." Qin Yuan heard it in his ears. Everyone is starting to get calluses. Just simply offered it to Hughie, asking the way. "What is the price like?" "Oh dear. After all, it is the masterpiece of a century-old craftsman. Nature is slightly more expensive in terms of labor costs. And the purity is very high. About this number. Sister Gui." He made a gesture of the number 5. Then he said again, "If you truly desire it. In terms of price, of course we can discuss it further," looking at the high price. Qin Yuan hesitated and stepped back. I touched the wallet in my pocket. "Although I made quite a bit of money, I want to buy this hairpin. Far from enough." She pondered after Hughie, making a firm decision. Take out the deep winter snow milk. Give her the bank card. Duh. Select 2 matching earrings. Let's pack together. Sister Gui heard this. Bright golden light sparkled in her beautiful eyes. "To receive such a gift. Your lover will surely be very happy. Thank you for your good wishes. Deliver it to this address tomorrow morning." Qin Yuan wrote down the address and handed it to her. Then he said seriously, "If you dare to swap the main part, I won't let you off easily." Sister Gui nodded repeatedly in agreement. "Don't worry. The customer is king. All your requests. We will all be satisfied." After everything was prepared, Qin Yuan returned to the clothing store at Yugongsha. A fitted pure white long dress, like a wedding dress, sacred and beautiful. She anxiously looked around. After discovering Qin Yuan's figure, holding up the skirt, walking briskly, hold on to Qin Yuan's body. Confirm it's not an illusion. This finally eased my mind. "Really? You worried me to death. Where did you run off to?" She pouted her red lips, said with a heavy heart, "I went to the bathroom. Sorry to keep you waiting." Qin Yuan smiled. She brushed her high nose bridge. "Continue the path. Almost there. Let's go home." Yu Gongsha nodded subconsciously, with slightly raised eyebrows, a hint of jealousy. "Now, isn't it called a world for two? Why are you going home? The light bulb at home always acts up. What if she finds out? I want to share in the benefits. Let her have it once in a while. How can she eat so well every day?" Qin Yuan felt both amused and helpless. Gently stroked her head. "So what exactly?" "Find a hotel to rest for a while." She happily nodded. A well-behaved appearance. Very cute. After the two agreed, set off immediately. I found a luxury hotel. Opened a king-size room. Upon entering the clean and tidy room, Yu Gongsha sat on the bed. So tense. Woohoo! It's still the first time. Check into a hotel with a man. There are things like miniature cameras. Confirm there are no issues. Sitting beside the rain god, gently holding her delicate hand. Rain prince sand. They are already eagerly waiting. She gasped for breath. In no time at all. Clothes still warm with residual heat. Fell to the ground. It looks like the beautiful woman, like a raging flood. Kin Yuin could not let go either. This extraordinary plaything is disregarded. The dual watch of Kin, pressed down on the bed. Chachai, what drink do you want to have today? Hearing this question, Yu Gong Sha was stunned for a moment and then shouted, how about a different drink? Then you better not regret it. Qin Yuan smiled and said, I won't regret it at all. Don't worry. Yu Gongcha blushed and shyly said, Qin Yuan's face, with a faint smile, towards that well, gently kissed down. This is paid content. One day, the two of them stepped out of the hotel, full of energy, driving back to the apartment. Yu Gongsha, with a rosy complexion, waved at Qin Yuan. Care, tight. Are you still going to work? Today is my birthday. Hope for the Qin army. At least you can spend more time with me in the evening. In the afternoon, I'll be back after I go to the store. Looking forward to the evening. Your birthday feast. Qin Yuan wrapped his arms around Yu Gongsha's slim waist, silently expressing deep affection. Yu Gongsha felt embarrassed and blushed. Don't turn your head, just accept it. Dad, tonight I will prepare a feast. You must come back early, he said as he walked to the door. Just as I was about to open the door, with a flushed face, they spoke to Qin Yuan. Dear, I love you. The words fell silent. He shyly ran into the house. Qin Yuan was taken aback by the sudden confession. It also made me a bit blush. At that moment, the delivery person's call came in. A delivery truck appeared. Stop in front of the apartment. Clearly, the jewelry he bought has arrived. Inside, a person stood there, though I didn't know when. Welcome home. Hello. I am here to apologize. Summer without snow. Stand quietly there, staring blankly at Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan rubbed his eyes in confusion, like seeing a mirage. A face full of disbelief. In the summer, Zhu Dian tilted his head. There was a hint of confusion in her phoenix eyes. After the brain accumulated dust, it explained. I didn't break into anyone's home. It was the junior from next door who let me in. Upon hearing this, Qin Yuan couldn't help but sigh in frustration. This is his only private space. But it's a public place that anyone can enter, even if that girl brought you in, without my consent. That is also trespassing, he said seriously, correcting the idea that summer has no snow. If only this were a beauty, then just empty the Dan family directly. Seeing Qin Yuan's excited reaction. In the summer, there is no snow to ask about. But she is your girlfriend, isn't she? Although they are clearly a couple, yet we live separately. It's indeed a bit strange. The key issue is not here. Qin Yuan harshly criticized. He leaned in and pressed for answers. So it is said. What are you really here for? In summer, there is no snow to see. Suddenly, Qin Yuan approached, cold as ice. Her face turned slightly red. The needle dropped. Speaking softly. Last time, I took your necklace. I am really sorry. So I came specifically to apologize to you. But Burl, sneaking into a room of a man covered in blood to apologize. If this is driven by ulterior motives, you don't even have a chance to escape. But this guy, she doesn't seem like a fragile woman either. She still seems to have some sincerity. Qin Yuan gently tapped with his fingertip. on that white forehead. I have already felt your apology. We can go now. As a college student, not studying properly, sticking to oneself every day, no matter how you say it. He is also a vigorous young man. Teasing oneself like this, that was rather reckless. You can hear Qin Yuan's words. Zia Rai Mei Zhu did not give up at this point. Instead, it made me care even more. Her jade-like face, tinged with rosy hues, lifted. The piercing eyes stared intently at Qin Yuan. "Da, it absolutely cannot be let go so easily. I don't want to owe you any favors. So please accept this. I owe it." Speaking, she unexpectedly sat on Qin Yuan's bed, lifted her beautiful legs, take off a pair of ankle boots, neatly arranged on the ground. Qin Yuan rubbed his nose. Seeing Senior Jai with her delicate makeup, I couldn't understand the rosy hue on her face. Instead, it has become increasingly popular. Can't help but shake my head and sigh. In the summer, Meizu raised her delicate brows towards Qin Yuan, spoke softly. "It might have a bit of a smell. How about I wash up first? Senior sister, I admit you are an exceptionally beautiful woman, but I don't want to do it this way, to become that kind of relationship with you." Qin Yuan shot him a glance. "Be patient. That kind of relationship. What does it mean?" Zia Rai Meizu asked in confusion. "It's just a physical relationship." Qin Yuan was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. "Take this, silly senior. Some things are beyond our control. But I never intended to seek your forgiveness through my body." He spoke calmly. Now, Qin Yuan instead pressed harder. "Not that kind. What are you doing sitting on the bed with your legs up?" "I think what you said makes sense. I need to cherish myself more. That's why I won't let anyone touch my body. So let's use this instead," Zia Rai Meizu said delicately, transforming the Ice Queen image, the appearance of the lovely sister, wrapped in an unparalleled aura of hesitation, makes one's heart race. She lifted her foot wrapped in a thin layer of silk. Even if separated by a layer of fabric, it can still be seen. Among them, that one is as smooth as jade, like delicate skin. Remove that annoying thing, revealing delicate ankles, those sharp pointed toes, gracefully proportioned, light pink nails, covered like 10 petals. Qin Yuan quickly bit his tongue. "Awake a little more. The senior sister, stay calm." "I am very calm. It's actually you. What are you blushing for?" After taking off those high socks in the summer, Meizu, get out of bed, gently approach the path. Take it. The heart beats rapidly. I heard that junior sister say, "You particularly like this." It has to be freshly taken off, although I don't really understand this kind of hobby. But I respect your quirks. On a summer day, Meizu tucked the hair on her cheeks behind her ear, said calmly, "If you don't like this color, I also brought other threads over. Do you need it? Don't say it anymore." Upon hearing this, Qin Yuan suddenly felt overwhelmed. "Damn stinky girl. I will accuse you of defamation. What does it mean to like stockings? It's still the kind that's warm right after being taken off. When did I become so twisted?" Seeing Qin Yuan's panicked and angry expression, Zia Rai Meizu was slightly confused. Dan said, "Does that mean I'm not good enough?" "It must be. Is that junior capable?" Qin Yuan let out a sigh, complained, "Is this the main point?" In the end, whose apology involves sending socks, he reached out, pinching soft and tender cheek of Zia Rai Meizu. I wish I could bully them properly. Zia Rai Meizu let out a light hum. Afraid to make a sound, humiliating appearance. Seeing this made Kinyuan even more eager. She glanced at the stockings in his hand. Serious, Tao. Hurry up and put it on. Then go home and rest. Forget about today's events. Zaya Rai Meizu fell silent for a moment, bent down to put on the socks and boots. Then she reluctantly walked out of the room. Qin Yuan let out a sigh of relief. Finally, I can send this plague god away. By the way, there is one more thing I haven't mentioned. Zaya Rai Meizu suddenly turned to look at him. Seriously authentic. Qin Yuan sighed in resignation. Da. Then you speak. I have investigated. Today is your landlord's birthday, right? That's right. You actually went out of your way to investigate this. After all, there wasn't much connection between the two of them. Even I wouldn't have remembered without Gong Ai's reminder. I really don't know. Today is Madame's birthday. So I prepared some small gifts. Put it on the bedside table. Please be sure to deliver it to him. A small gift carries great respect, but I hope it will be useful. He spoke slowly. Qin Yuan listened to these words. After some contemplation, inviting Dao, why not stay and celebrate your birthday with Shajai? He originally had no such intentions. You can hear how thoughtfully Summer Meizu is. I can't bear to send him away so heartlessly. Zaya Rai Meizu shook her head. Duh, I won't disturb your trio any longer. Wishing you all a pleasant time. He said it, then turned and left. Leave behind the lingering encounters. Watching Sister Zhu's departing figure, Qin Yuan couldn't help but feel curious. What kind of gift is it really? It shouldn't be anything valuable, but perhaps it's some small jewelry or something. He returned to the house, pressed down on the summer eyebrows and snow, walked to the bedside table. I found a small box of gifts. Exquisite packaging, still very ceremoniously making the call. The gift from that naturally clueless idiot, Zuji. I want to see.